So I'm going to be talking about how to stabilize a GoPro camera on a bicycle using homemade, cheap, inexpensive materials. I don't know about you all, but I have looked at all forms of ways to stabilize my camera while I ride. I live in Florida. I don't like to wear helmets. We should wear helmets, but I don't like to. I ride on the beach a lot. And we're in t-shirts. So to put a head cam on, to put a body mount on, and I've even seen some where you put it in your mouth, just didn't really seem to work here in Florida. So I wanted to come up with some inexpensive way. I looked at the gimbals. Some are not too expensive. Most of them are reasonable. But I thought, you know, it seemed clumsy to me and the way that they mounted on my bike. So what I wanted to do was come up with just some simple way to stabilize the camera. Once the camera was stabilized and the vibration was muted, then I just played with the camera settings themselves, and there are limitations with these. I have a GoPro 5, a Hero 5. I know that some of the newer cameras out may have better stabilization methods. But I found, and I'm going to show some video coming up of varying certain things on the bike and varying certain settings on the camera to give me the best vibration-free video. Now, I'm not a mountain biking person. I basically ride on the streets and the beach, but there's a lot of bumps, cracks in the cement, and sometimes I get off a little bit off-road, but it's not mountain biking. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the materials that I use, and then we're going to follow up with a sequence of videos that you can tell for yourself and see if you like those, and if you want to do something like that. But the materials are cheap, and we'll get right to that. So basically, I was considering using PVC pipes, cardboard, all kind of foam, things like that. And I just didn't happen to have any PVC pipe that the day I started the project. And since we're out here on the tip of an island, it's kind of difficult to get back in. But I noticed that I had these spotlights, the little plastic solar spotlights, and they came with different options. And I noticed I had in this bag these little extra PVC tubes. And these spotlights you can get on Amazon, they're really cheap. Anyways, I found these two little PVC pipes and some other adapters. These are wall mounts if you want to put your spotlight on the wall. Well, since mine were in the grass, I really didn't need them. And good old-fashioned noodles, and cut up noodles, and some bungee straps. I don't think we need to do the math to show that this is going to cost you about maybe $5. So this is all it is. And I'm going to take you out to my bike and I'm going to show you how I adapted it, and then we'll go to the video to show you what the outcomes were. Okay, so here's the basic setup. I've got those little PVC pipes right here. This is the two wall adapters that were from the spotlight, and obviously you've got your PVC foam and the bungees. Now, one thing that I think many people make the mistake of is to take this GoPro handlebar mount and actually put it on the handlebars. I don't know if you've done that before, y'all, but I did that, and my videos were really bad, because what happens is you're going like this all the time, and the vibration reduction component of the GoPro doesn't really do a good job of this kind of motion. It does okay up and down, but it didn't do very well with that. So the key that I have found to have good video is to not mount it on the part of the bike where you're moving the wheel or the handlebars, but instead mount it on the stable part of the frame. And you can see right here that I have taken the noodle, and there's another crossbar like this, similar to this, that shoots down into this, and then inside here, sandwiched between this, are more foam from the noodle that I cut up. So this whole mechanism is designed to just mute out some of the vibration. But I also found that if I got this too tight with the bungees, trying to get it really secure, then it transmitted the vibration from the bike frame into the camera again. So what I did was I just kind of loosened it up. It's okay to let it kind of float a little bit like this. That's what gimbals do. And the compensation mechanism within the software of the GoPro essentially compensates. So that's really the setup. It's just super, super simple. And this is just another picture of how it's secured. I mean, it's just super simple. Now, the one thing you have to also be aware of is all of these brake cables and the gear cables, you got to pull them out of the way. And the video that I'm going to show, I didn't do that because I really didn't care, but in the future you just kind of secure these. And I really like the mount lower off the handlebar. It gives a much cleaner, nicer effect when you're riding. On the first video, the GoPro was mounted on the handlebars, not using the new mount. The resolution was set at 1080, 60 frames per second in the wide mode. Using this standard configuration that I'd been used to gave a very unacceptable video outcome, lots of vibration and lots of interference. Overall, an unacceptable video. In the second video, this is where the GoPro is now mounted on my new homemade mount. The resolution was set at 1080, 60 frames per second, and in the wide mode. You can see already that the vibration and interference has already been dampened by quite a lot, producing a fairly acceptable video. In the third video, I elected to make several changes. The camera was set in the 4K resolution. I reduced it to 30 frames per second but kept it in the wide mode. On a GoPro 5, there is no video stabilization in the internal software of the camera. This resulted in a very unacceptable video, lots of vibration, lots of interference. Overall, very unsatisfactory. In the fourth and final video ride, the settings were changed back to 1080 resolution, 60 frames per second, but I changed from wide view to super view. This gave the best overall improvement and a very satisfactory video. In this segment, the bungee straps were loosened a little bit, allowing for the camera to move somewhat like a gimbal. The GoPro internal software video stabilization easily adjusted and compensated for any of the vibration and movement, resulting in a very satisfactory video. Okay, so that's my setup. It's a very inexpensive way to mute out vibration for general riding. Again, this particular setup is not going to work for mountain bikes or any type of aggressive extreme sports with bicycle. The bungee cords will not hold. It's for general street riding and for maybe hard-packed sand beach riding. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get something out of it, and a cheap way to mute out the vibration with your GoPro on a bike. Thank you.